think that hip-hop has done more for racial relations than most cultural icons, and I say save Martin Luther King, because his dream speech, we realized when President Obama got elected. But the impact of the music, you know, this music didn't only influence kids from urban areas, it influenced people all around the world. People listened to this music all around the world and took to this music. And racism is taught in the home. I truly believe that racism is taught when you're young. So it's very difficult to teach racism when your kid looks up to Snoop Doggy Dogg. And if you look at clubs and how integrated they had become, before people partied in separate clubs. There were hip-hop clubs and there were techno clubs, and now people party together. And once you have people partying, dancing, and singing along to the same music, then conversation.
Not a YouTuber, just like making videos. And this is an interesting subject matter. This is actually, you know, the concept of hip-hop brings cultures together is an ideology that I wanted to debunk a long time ago. I actually wanted to debunk it back in my Is Hip-Hop Cursed Music series. Now, I admit that I am an avid hip-hop listener. You know, it's not the only music I listen to. It's not even my favorite. The older I get, my favorite music is blues, you know, Hound Dog Taylor. But I grew up listening to it, so I have a soft spot for it. Now, I'm not going to defend hip-hop against its naysayers, because I recognize its negative impact. If you say hip-hop has this, have a positive influence, then you have to recognize that it can also have a negative influence. Now, I know people are going to say, well, mainstream rap is different from, you know, the gangster, the hardcore rap. I'm like, you know, first of all, a lot of the underground rappers or whatever, their morals aren't much different than the mainstream rappers. And the mainstream rappers are going to be like always be looked at, or the rappers that are popular are going to be looked at as the ambassadors of rap music. And I don't care. You can take your most underground hip-hop purists or whatever. If they have a chance to work with JayZ or have a chance to work with Nicki Minaj for the right kind of money, I guarantee you I'll jump to it. And they'll jump to it. I said I'll jump to it. Now, and just because a rapper is mainstream doesn't mean that he's a whack rapper. Doesn't mean that he may still have some nice similes and metaphors going on. But this concept of hip-hop brought cultures together. We can get other cultures to like us. All we have to do is entertain them. You know, and JayZ is the last rapper to talk about this. Because, you know, first, his music doesn't embrace that whole, you know what I'm saying, traditional boom bap rap, break dancing and graffiti art and so forth. They talk about the 4-track mind. You know, he did commercial songs, club songs, and you know what I'm saying, he rapped about selling drugs and being a street hustler, and, you know, a whole lot of, you know what I'm saying, explicit madness, you know. And these rappers, they want to hijack black culture, you know what I mean? They want to be the ambassadors and so forth. But in that case, you have to take accountability for, you know, the negative impact of hip-hop. You know, they don't want to do that. And come on now, let's look at jazz, blues, rock and roll, even funk, even disco. So you're trying to tell me that they didn't do things that so-called help race relations or bring cultures together? Not disco, not jazz music. I think about that movie Ray Charles. When, you know, they was in that ballroom and they had that divider. But then they knocked that divider down, and black kids and white kids was dancing with one another. But that's the thing. Just because white people like our music doesn't mean that they like us as people. Doesn't mean that they respect us on a social, political, and economic level. You know, that's why when black music, they've always called it, like they call it race music. You know, they've always been able to sell this to white people. You know, play this Chuck Berry on white radio stations. But it took the civil rights leaders, you know, people like Medgar Evers, Dr. Martin Luther King, you know, people like Malcolm X, or whatever, to help us on an economic level, or to help us gain our basic civil rights. I know a lot of people are going to talk about, oh, well, you know, they integrated us with white people, and you know what I mean, it all fell apart because a black family was together. I don't want to get into that argument. I got plenty of videos, you know what I'm saying, dealing with that, you know, or debunking that whole concept of, you know what I'm saying, integration destroyed us more than anything. But yeah, so, and you know, and I think about the gypsies in Europe. You know, the gypsy culture. Madonna did a concert in the Czech Republic, Yugoslavia, you know, one of those places with gypsies. And supposedly the white Europeans, well, gypsies are white, they, you know, they like gypsy music, but they don't like the gypsies. And then Madonna did some sort of political speech during her concert saying that we must respect the gypsies, because she was performing with the gypsies. We must respect the gypsies, and people started booing Madonna. See, that's the thing. I'm like, just because people will like another culture's music or whatever, don't mean that they like the people. You know, they say music is the universal language. And, you know, right now, rap music, you know, just has a overall, it's negative now. I'm like, especially in the mainstream. And then if these rappers want to act like the representatives of black people, like this is black culture, I'm like, we're doomed. I'm like, you know what I'm saying, profiling is up, police brutality is up, race relations is fucking horrible now in this country. And you know, I'm like, white flight is still in effect. And you know what I'm saying, and look at these rappers reinforcing negative stereotypes. It's like the white man calls us a thug, you know, and that, you know, we rap about being thugs. The white man calls us a pimp, we rap about being a pimp. Calls black women a hoes, we call black women a hoe. And it makes seems like black people's priority isn't straight. Like we have this mentality of, you know what I mean, going out and getting ours. You know, going from 0 to 100 in less than a second. Like, you know, we're poor, we got to get up there and hustle, and maybe we'll get the new Bugatti. You know, and look at what these rappers endorse. You know, the type of clothes, jewelry, you know, Bugattis, Lamborghinis, Bentleys, Maybachs. A lot of these cars, white people in the suburbs can't even afford. You know, the whole, when I think about, you know what I'm saying, people stampeding, black people stampeding the mall for the new Air Jordans, I can't help but to coincide that with rap music, and how rap music put an emphasis on fashion, and expensive fashion at that. But no, rappers won't take accountability. But all the good things, black people and white people intermingling together at a fucking nightclub, rappers say, oh, we did that. We did that. We did. You see that? We did that. But then when somebody get robbed for their chain or whatever, a shootout at a hip hop concert, they're like, oh no, we that has nothing to do with hip hop. That's just how the street is. We had no influence on that trigger man. You know, all these deaths at rap concerts, and look at the rappers themselves, all the boondoggles they involved in. We talk about hip hop bringing cultures together when hip-hop couldn't even bring black people together. Think about the East Coast, West Coast debacle. Think about, you know what I'm saying, how, and I'm sort of generalizing here, how rappers up in New York and the East Coast don't like the Southern bumpkins, is what they say, and how black people down south don't like, you know what I'm saying, the people, hip-hoppers down south don't like really the East Coast music. It created a gap between, you know, you know what I'm saying, the old and the young. I think about the conflict with Ice-T and Soulja Boy, you know, and how people say, oh, Ice-T's just an old ass man, you know what I mean, he needs to shut up. These young dudes are out here getting their paper, because rappers make getting paper one of the most important things, and that these rappers don't even don't even have respect for the old school rappers, you know, that paved the way for them. And, you know what I mean, and it's hard for, you know what I'm saying, the older generation like me to talk to these young kids when they're listening to their rap music, because, you know what I mean, they're so infatuated with these rappers and their lifestyles, and they got this idea of, you know what I mean, you know, you won't understand our life and all this other stuff. So it is. I'm like, you know, come on, man. Let's just break it down realistically. And rap has not really done much. It has not created any sort of power base. You know, it hasn't even turned into people power. Look at the South Bronx. And I talked about this in my Is Hip Hop Cursed series. South Bronx is one of the most decrepit and poorest boroughs, subdivisions, areas in this whole entire country. This is the birthplace of hip-hop, and hip-hop can't even take care of it. How many rappers are going to come back? Maybe there's some, but you know, there need to be more rappers, especially on the East Coast, going to the South Bronx, opening up youth centers and things of that nature. I'm not saying that rappers don't do enough for, don't do anything for the black community. I'm pretty sure they do, but to me it's not enough, because rappers, once they get their money, what they're going to do, they're going to move out the projects. They're going to move their mama out their projects. Hopefully they would, you know what I'm saying, and live where the white people are at. Well, that's any people, even poor white people get money, they're going to move. But you know what I'm saying, the most affluent neighborhoods is owned by white people and the Jews. These rappers don't shop at Walmart, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying, they're going to stores where you can't even pronounce their names. They got high taste and high fashion. They're up in that upper class. They want to be part of that 1%. They don't represent the people. They got this mentality is go out there and get yours, and get rich or die trying. And I understand that 50 cent philosophy means that every person's really trying to get rich and they die trying getting rich. But you know, the street hoodlum or whatever, they're gonna look at it like, you know what I'm saying, have gun will travel. They're gonna get rich by all means necessary. Like Biggie Smalls says, either you have a wicked jump shot or you sell crack rock. No, these rappers don't preach morals like, you know what I'm saying, family values and, you know, go out there and work hard, get you a trade, you know, things of that nature. And, you know, and going back to this thing about rap music, you know what I'm saying, opened up the borders and these cultures. You know, I look at Japan. Japan loves rap music, but Japan is one of the most homogenous countries in the world. They don't like outsiders, even from other Asian countries like the Philippines and Taiwan. And I think about the other things like the black people in Brazil and the black people in South America, like Mexico. Like they say that the black Mexicans, Hispanics created, you know what I'm saying, cha-cha dancing and so forth. But they still don't respect black people. Black people don't get a lot of respect, not just here in America or just dark-skinned people, you know. And hip-hop has become a hindrance because it's gonna, as I said before, reinforce negative stereotypes. And then, you know, other cultures, you know, white people, because it's about kowtowing to white people, and you know, and they said, do we want this as our neighbor? Do we want this in our neighborhood? Yeah, it's fine to listen to at the club, but eventually the music gotta stop. You know, and so forth. But it also means that other people can come in and invade and take over that hip hop culture. Because you got that white rapper Iggy, won a Grammy, got the best, you know, a white Australian female. Australia is also a very racist country. And this goes back into my video about white rappers getting all the credit. You know, I'm like, All you have to do is watch my channel.